Hey, it's John and Mike, brew-use.com, and I said that I brewed 3 beers. I actually brewed 4. Beers with my own homegrown hops. And this is thankfully the last one you guys will have to suffer through, because this was a lager that I brewed with my own Magnum hops that grew in my big backyard. This is the plant that I've had for the longest, and really I've used these hops before in beers, and certainly only for bittering charges, and that's what we did here with this beer. This is a lager, just I don't know, I don't even know, I wouldn't even know the style, to be honest. I just took 10 pounds of Pilsner malt and brewed that on a day with just my own tap water, no water chemistry.
I hear you.
Just filtered tap water out of the spigot out of my house, and used a Whirlfloc tablet just to clear it up. But then it's whatever I had for Magnum hops. I think I had probably like 6 ounces. So I think I just did, 2 ounces at 60 minutes in the boil, 2 at 15, and 2 more at flame out. And that was that. But the big thing that we did try, and this is spurned from Mike's warm fermenting lagers. I used the same dry yeast strain, the Safe Lager W3470. Which is from Wine Stefaner. But I did not do warm. I actually did the traditional
lagering? Lager
ferment temperature at 50 degrees, and even did
tremendous,
diacetyl rest.
Thank goodness.
Because
everyone knew I wasn't going to finish this project.
And then I did transfer that to a secondary vessel and let that actual lager for a couple of months, and then because I was growing impatient.
A couple of months, wow, that's awesome.
Yeah, because I think I brewed in October, so maybe I'm around 2 months. But then a week or 2 ago, because we had gotten so many lagers sent to us through the old mail, and they were crystal clear. I hit this with some gelatin so I could say, look at my clear
It's pretty
lager.
good. It's pretty good. I mean, a little more time, it'll be crystal, but it's clear. It's very clear.
So that's really it. It's all about the Magnum hops, and really, it has a clean bittering note, and that is exactly what I wanted to have in this lager. It's kind of beer tasting beer. There are some soft malt notes that I'm picking up off of this. Not a ton of aroma. Got a little bit of beer in my nose. It's live television, people, on tape. It's mostly kind of a malt aroma. A lot of just soft Pilsner malt notes, and then it kind of pulls through in the aftertaste as well. So what are your thoughts on this?
Well, so on the aroma, it's definitely, maybe as we've been talking, it's breathed a little bit, but the first few scents of aroma I got off of it, I actually got some apple off of it, and not like green apple, like acetaldehyde, but more of cider.
Okay.
At first, but I don't get that. I did
brew a cider right next to this, so hopefully there was no cross-pollination.
But I don't get that now that it's breathed a little bit. I don't get as much, but I do get the soft malt aroma, right? I get that. There certainly isn't a whole lot of hop aroma, unless some of that apple originally was some sort of hop aroma in the head that's now dissipated. I don't know, from the homegrown Magnum, but then the flavor it's clean. The bitterness is present. I still have that sort of pithy type of resiny bitterness lingering in the back of my mouth still. But it is a clean bitterness. There isn't a whole lot of flavor dimension to the hop character.
No, it's not. No. And it's not too.
I did a smash beer once, remember, with Warrior, which is a cousin of Magnum, and we noted a distinct mint quality in that.
There's no mint here.
It's not here.
No.
But from a fermentation character, I don't know. I don't think it's malt, but there is a there's a fermentation character that is reminiscent to me a little bit of the golden lager that I did warm with this.
Yeah.
That must be yeast derived, because there's some similarities in this compared to my red lager and the really warm golden lager that I'm picking up that is not necessarily pleasant to me. It's not necessarily diacetyl, but the feeling reminds me of that. Because I don't get a diacetyl flavor, but maybe there's like a glycerol component coming from the yeast or something, but there's like a coating in there that has a muted, there's something that's muting the malt flavor or the hop flavor, that it's not as crisp or as clean as I think it could be.
No, I agree.
It's just, and I don't know, it's probably something very specific. I'm just not palate educated enough on what I'm getting from this yeast that's giving me that flavor. I thought maybe with my golden lager it was the warm ferment and the long sit time, but I can detect it here too. So it's probably just amplified in mine from the warm ferment, but it's definitely yeast derived, not process derived. Is my point.
Yeah, because my point of talking about that this we did not treat the water is that body. It's not that crisp finish that lagers have.
But to be fair, like a super soft, like Kolsch water or like really soft Pilsen water, right? Our water's pretty soft.
Yeah, it is.
You know, so it was funny because just the other day, I was thinking about these lagers and I was thinking about this yeast and thinking, you know, maybe I'll brew one more beer with this yeast and probably have to move on and explore a different lager yeast, because this just doesn't seem clean enough for me, or what I expect out of a lager ferment, right?
Yeah. Yep.
I feel like I've gotten from just Pilsner malt and just like a hop. I feel like I get something cleaner out of like USO5, like cream ale or Kolsch yeast. I feel like is cleaner than this a little bit, or at least not cleaner, but brighter, crisper. Now maybe that's a pH issue, maybe that's a water chemistry issue, right?
Potentially.
We put a little acid in here, maybe it'll brighten up. I don't know, but it's not bad. But I think it could be better.
Yes.
And I have to then, comparing it to the other two results we've had with this yeast, maybe I won't brew with this yeast again, and maybe do something very similar. Maybe just repeat this, but get some. Like Southern German lager yeast, Mexican lager yeast, or one of those, you know. Those are the ones that come off the top of my head because I'm more familiar with that catalog. But, you know, like I said, not bad, but it's not endearing to me.
Yeah, I think that it definitely sets it up. I think that there's a couple things with the yeast. You know, I think we learned a lot of information there.
Yep.
And then also just the hops. I mean, you know,
it's hard to tell too, because we know that we're not a huge fan of this year's per se homegrown hops in general, right? Like we haven't had like a wild amount of success.
I think one plant, but I think this is fine.
Yeah.
I think this is fine for what it can be used for, which are traditional lager beers.
Yep.
And I think that's what I was looking to make sure that it would work in, and it does.
Yep.
I think that maybe some tweaks to the water and some tweaks to, you know, maybe using a yeast strain that actually really has a crisp finish.
Yep.
I think then you're done.
Yep.
And that's how you improve on this.
Yeah.
Cool.
Oh, well, hey, it was a good experiment. I'm glad that you did this, actually, because it couples really nicely with the other two beers I did. I think we, at least, have learned something about this yeast strain. I think this is the most comprehensive analysis of yeast we've ever done.
There you go. And just on this one.
It's hard because you get into some brewing ruts where you tend to have, like I brew a lot of English beers, but there's really only like two strains that I seem to bounce between, and I don't even know if that's making the beers that I make the best. I like the beers, but could it be different? I mean, that's something we've talked about for the new year here too, but it's interesting. I think lager yeast is its own beast. You know, it's its own thing to start exploring.
True that. So
find what works.
I think we can say that it certainly works well warm. Certainly works well cold. And you know, it's definitely worth trying. And if you're looking to switch up your lager yeast strains, try that Safe Lager 3470.
Yep. Tell us what you think.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's worth trying. For sure, it's not like an avoid yeast strain.
No. I think there's something to be learned and played with. Again, maybe a lager style is had a little more rather than just Pilsner malt, like
more
again, like
background.
a Dunkel or something. You know, heck, maybe it would work great in like a Baltic porter, right? Where you want to use such a big beer, get away with a warmer ferment to really dry it out to get it to complete, but all that porter character would mask maybe some of those things that are less desirable.
Yep. All right. So if you've used this yeast strain, let us know in the comments below, and just give us other thoughts about your own lager brewing techniques. If you like this video, give us a thumbs up. Subscribe to our channel. We do this every week, especially if you just started home brewing here in the big year of 2020. For John and Mike, brew-dudes.com. Brew on.
Cheers.